Hey folks, I'm Sir Vainglory and this is my second Anatomy of a Battle video. This one is a battle between the 6th Airborne Division and the 12th SS-Panzer Division on the Eugen map. The first time I'd played on this map, and I decided what I wanted to do was to move up a holding force on the left hand side and hold at the village, and on the right hand side I would make a strong push and then try and sweep round into the centre from there. A bit of a problem at the start with my anti-tank gun didn't take the route I thought it was going to take, and it ended up moving quite slowly across country, so my holding force was a bit exposed by the time it had got up to the village. So I managed to move forward into position without encountering any enemy at all. You could see in the distance there was a few infantry units moving forward, but my focus here was really on the left. I could have moved forward on the right a bit more quickly, but I was trying to get this holding force into position. So what we had there was a couple of infantry squads, a P-8 team, a recce carrier and a machine gun. There was an anti-tank gun and an infantry squad way behind. It was still moving forward. On the right hand side we had quite a few more squads than we had on the left. There's another recce carrier there, P-8 team and a machine gun as well. I think we had two P-8 teams over on the right hand side. But on the left you can see there was a half track coming up the road through the village into the open. Pretty much as I'd expected might happen. The P-8 team tried to engage it but missed, and the half track made short work of wiping them out. The machine gun opened up on the infantry that's gone up behind it there, and the half track, having destroyed the P-8 team, then turned its attention onto the machine guns. The recce carrier opened up from the left hand side as well in the infantry. So under a bit of pressure here, moving up some infantry to take the place of the P-8 team in the buildings. But fortunately the anti-tank gun had managed to get into position now, get line of sight, and it was able to take out the half track first time. So the battle continued over on that left hand side, and we eventually we lost our machine gun, and we also ended up losing the recce carrier. So the two infantry squads were left pretty much on their own, unsupported there for a bit. And the strongest German push was coming on that my left hand flank. Over on the right we've secured the town, village that we're looking to take, and beginning to push forward, and then we encountered German infantry up in the tree line ahead of us. So that pinned our advance a wee bit while I moved the rest of the forces up. You can see there's about a platoon strength German infantry there, and there was a machine gun supporting me. So I had my mortar in the vicinity, so I called in mortar fire to suppress them. So back over in the left, there was a Buick Firefly appeared, and there was some more more light armour in the centre in the town ahead of us. So the infantry there was under pressure. There's also, you can see there's a strong German infantry force pushing up through those trees towards the village. So the mortar's doing what it can to try and suppress them. A light tank and a half track appeared through the town in the centre and began to engage the infantry. But fortunately the anti-tank gun again managed to get a bead on them, took out the half track, so the tank and an infantry squad there pulled back. So over on the left hand side, the Firefly is pushing up on the left hand flank, and there's a strong infantry push in towards that village. They were supported by SD KFZ 250-09. And there was also the there's an SPW in the town or the village in the centre ahead of us. It was putting fire in on the couple of squads there. So the Firefly moved up and down on the left. It looked like it was trying to get line of sight on us or on something worth engaging. On the right hand side there was again an SPW appeared to support the infantry up there, but we were able to deal with that without it causing us too much problems. So I'd laid down some smoke on the left to mask the Firefly, but then the 09 drove into the village and an infantry squad tried to engage it with gammon bombs. Managed to take it out. And that led to a sustained firefight there between the two buildings. But we're doing well in that village. We've got a strong foothold in it now, and the Germans are having to try and push into it to dislodge us. So they're going better on the left than I had anticipated. On the right hand side we were a bit stalled, but I was concentrating at this point on the left. I want to make sure that I was able to deal with the Firefly and repulse that German advance. So the Firefly had got into position and began to engage, but I managed to sort of counter that by dropping smoke from the mortar in front of it. And I also brought up a Tetrarch Little John to try and get into position to counter the Firefly. But as it turned out, the anti-tank gun had managed to get a hit in on the Firefly and damaged its tracks. So it was immobilised, but I didn't realise that at this point. Back on the right, the Germans are still in that tree line there. I'm trying to dislodge them with mortar fire, but they're hanging on tight. On the left, the smoke cleared, the anti-tank gun got a bead on the Firefly, side armour, couldn't move, and it was knocked out. There's still a strong push in the village here, plenty of infantry in the tree lines, and moving up some half-tracks. So I pushed up a Tetrarch into the village to try and provide some support to the infantry. I think there's an SPW just up along that road, as well as the half-tracks over to the left. So you can see the infantry pushing in towards the village there, out in the open, but they're caught in a crossfire. But then the Tetrarch, it attracts quite a bit of attention, and it panics, falls back. And it manages to fall back into a position of safety, recovers, and then it starts to move forward again and disappears in that puff of smoke. The things are still going better on the left than they are on the right. We're still a bit bogged down there, so I decided to bring in more infantry, get a bit more weight on the right hand side, so we can make a push there. And in this village on the left, there are two half-tracks. There's a 250/8 or 251/17. They come up and take position in the road here. And I've got an infantry squad trying to move towards them through the trees to try and engage them. And they do attack the 17 with a gammon bomb, but it doesn't actually do anything to it at all, so they begin to pull back. They're pinned down eventually, fire from the two half-tracks, and then the half-tracks just return their focus onto the village. So, back on the right, we've been trying to push forward. The Germans are still, infantry still hanging on tight in that tree line. I'm sort of trapped or pinned down in the orchard there, but I've got supporting fire from the mortar, and you can see another Tetrarch moving along there, along the road, to come up and provide some support. And that eventually tips the balance for us, and the Germans begin to pull back. So keep the pressure on them, and manage to drive forward on that right hand side. But now there's a pretty strong German force in the centre there. So the first thing I try to do is bring in a Typhoon and Tempest to harass them. But that's going to be a bit of a problem for me for a while, that force there. But the pressure is much less on the left hand side now, so I begin to push forward there, and I want to try and move up that road so that I can get that centre force in a pincer attack. So I managed to bring in some more light armour on the left hand side to support that advance. And there's you can see there's a German artillery unit off to the left hand side, and we've got infantry over there, and we're able to go and deal with that. There's a Tetrarch also out of shot there, but we're able to advance up and destroy that artillery. But in the centre we move forward up towards this next village. We've got a pretty strong position behind us with support and fire, and I think there was only the one German infantry squad ahead of us, so we're able to move up there. So we've still got our Tempest flying around there, trying to harass the units in the centre. It can only make strafing runs, it doesn't have any bombs or rockets. You can see there's a Panzer appeared just in the centre, in the town that we've just advanced into on the left hand side. This is the right hand side. The lead units run into a strong reinforcing unit and get pinned down there. But again, the mortar and the weighter units that we've got there, we're able to deal with them and continue the advance, albeit slowly. But this Panzer that's in the centre left, that comes up and it quite quickly destroys a Tetrarch, the main road, and then it starts to engage the infantry over in my left. A couple of squads moving forward there through the field, and another Tetrarch that was in support of them. So the Panzer moves in to get closer to that infantry, but it moves right into line of sight of an anti-tank gun, so it turns to engage the anti-tank gun. Doesn't last very long. So we've called in quite a bit of reinforcements now, moving up both flanks. I do want to sort of try to move in towards the centre, put some pressure on there directly in front. And the Germans on the left begin to, or my left, they begin to bring in some more units. You can see there's a Panther back there. I'm struggling to get units into position to deal with this sort of blob in the centre, to get anything that can dislodge them. But on this town in the left centre, we're doing quite well. We've got quite a strong foothold in it. The Panther does move up over on the left hand side, and it's heading in towards the infantry I've got advancing up there. Unfortunately, I've got a couple of Typhoons on hand, and I'll be able to call them in. So make their attack. They can't destroy the Panther, but they do manage to force it to fall back. It keeps it quiet for a bit. I'm still trying to get my anti-tank guns in the centre into position where they could get line of sight over to that left side. The Tempest is still flying around here, trying to strafe whatever it can. we have managed to take out most of the light armour that was around there, and we're now just trying to push through on the infantry. And there's an SPW on that main road that's been a bit of a problem. I was eventually able to get an anti-tank gun forward far enough in that village that it could spot it. Supply jeep appears next to it, and the anti-tank gun deals with the SPW. I'm bringing up another Tetrarch's Little John into that village, just to try and give us something to counter the German armour. The Panther that was attacked by the Typhoons earlier on the left, that makes a reappearance, and it starts engaging an infantry squad, and they try to retaliate with gammon bombs. That was obviously ineffective against frontal armour on the Panther. So that infantry gets pinned down. I had another Typhoon available, so I'll bring that in to try and deal with the Panther again. But once again, the Panther's only suppressed.
Jerry's dead.
So over on the right hand side, we've been blocked again. We're just lined up along a tree line, struggling to make any sort of advance because of the fresh German units that are there. And on the left, a second Panther appears to back up the one that was suppressed earlier, and that begins to move forward to my infantry. Luckily, I've got an anti-tank gun that's moved into position now, and that spots the Panther and manages to knock it out. The second one we lose line of sight on, but it's still there somewhere. So the German forces, you can see they're building up on the right now, but I had something new for them. I called in a naval barrage and rushed forward the spotter to try and get line of sight on them. I was hoping that some of that light armour might move up, some of the half-tracks might move along that road as well, but they hung back, unfortunately. But we did manage to catch a few infantry squads in the open. In the background there you can see another attack, Typhoon. It comes in on Panzer IV. It was in the field there. So once again it only manages to suppress the tank, and it begins to pull back, but we've got another anti-tank gun coming up that road. So gets a bead on the Panzer and knocks it out. So with all that, you can see that in terms of visible units, the way is clear for me to start pushing across the whole of the front. So try to do that. I call in another naval bombardment on the point where I expect to focus my advance. I'm not sure, I don't think it actually took anything out. It looked quite impressive, but I don't think there were really any units in that vicinity. We've still got the Panther on the left, you can see that's sort of made a reappearance. So that tank begins to move in towards the centre, along the same sort of route taken by the other one. And we've got an infantry squad in that vicinity. The Panther breaks through this line of blockage, and there's an anti-tank gun there. And so there's quite a sustained duel now between the Panther and the anti-tank gun. They exchange about half a dozen shots, and the infantry squad there decides to try and assault the Panther while it's occupied by the anti-tank gun. But it turns out not to be too preoccupied by it, and it totally obliterates the infantry. Then it turns its attention back on the anti-tank gun. And this time it's effective. Luckily I've got a second anti-tank gun that's got a bead on it now, and it manages to take out the Panzer. So from this point on, it really is quite straightforward. There's some light armour, there's some anti-aircraft units there, but there's not a whole lot that they have to sort of hold me back. So I'm just generally pushing forward now. I've got the first of my tanks in the battle now, as well as the light armour and the infantry. I'd called in a third and final naval barrage, and had the Typhoons just hunting any enemy armour that they could find. But we were well on our way to victory now.
This is Red 2, enemy spotted.
So overall, I think the battle went reasonably well. I suppose I was surprised that I didn't really get any of my armour into the fight. I think I had one tank that managed to get a shot off just round about now, but I didn't have any tank-on-tank duels. So I know there's a lot of debate about how strong the Allied forces are against the Axis. It certainly does seem that the 6th Airborne, quite a strong division, coming up against the 12th Panzer division. And there was no real contest, and it was on, as you'll have seen, it was on the medium AI. But enjoyable. Looking forward now to the game being released and having all the different units, the different squads, different divisions, and the campaign map available. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Please comment and rate the video, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this sort of thing. I would like to make more of these. They do take quite a while to make, having to watch and re-watch the battle 3 or 4 times. But if there's an interest in them, then I will make some more. Anyway, let me know what you think, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.